Welcome everyone to the Get to Know Her show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with me here at the Glam Jewels studio. I got my bead wall behind me. It's the Christmas season. It is full on. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, I saw the most hilarious cartoon, and it was talking about Zoom meetings and going live with people. And so the cartoon was this guy, and he had like this really nice background behind him, but you could see off to the side was all his stuff like jammed to the walls, all his projects he was working on, and everything. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. It looks like the Glam Jewels studio looks like the Tasmanian devil has had a run through here, and like I'm the only one here, so this is all my own mess. But very happy today. Yesterday I completed the advent calendars that everyone had pre-ordered. We had some wonderful people coming to pick up yesterday. People bringing me gifts, for God's sakes. I got chocolates from Pam Rudder. She gave me chocolates and a beautiful Wonder Woman Christmas tree ornament, which is at my house at the moment. I'll have to bring it here, but I feel like I really want it at home. I want it somewhere where I see it every morning. It's so beautiful. And then Jonas Scott was picking up for his wife. He brought me a beautiful bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, Chateau de Charme. It was like silk. Like I drank it last night and it was the best reward. It was so delicious and just amazing. People are incredible. So thank you guys for the gifts. Today I'm ready for a holiday party. How about you? Check out my Brenda Badome top today, you guys. Brenda is our amazing sponsor, and I even partied up this top with a beautiful glittery mask with one of our mask chains from our friend Teresa from Hides in Hand. Isn't that cool with the Brenda top? Like, come on. Oh, geez. So anyway, I'm ready for a holiday party. I'm so ready for one. Today, I want you to go to brendabadome.com. I want you to treat yourself to a little holiday outfit and use the coupon code Get to Know Her for 13% off. Are you guys ready for today? I have the most amazing guest, my dear friend Caroline Bruce, who I met only a few short years ago at an event. She is a jewelry designer. She is amazing. I love her story. I love everything about her. As jewelry designers, we sometimes say how, geez, I wish I could wear that, because we're always wearing our own things, because people will say to us, hey, where did you get that? And you have to say, well, I made it. Would you like one? So if there was a jewelry designer out there who I would gravitate to and go to and wear her collection, it's my friend Caroline. And here she is. I'm bringing her on right now. Hello, my darling. She's a little frozen here. Hi, Caroline. Are you good? I think you're frozen. Let's see what's happening. This is the advantage.
Hi, Monica.
There we go. There she is. You were a little bit frozen there.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. I was just telling the folks, as jewelry designers, we're always wearing our own pieces, right? Because
you don't get to explore.
No, and I said, if there's anybody who I'd want to wear their pieces, it's you. I love your jewels.
Thank you. That's so
yes.
That's what they say. Like, architects never see houses that they like. Jewelry designers rarely see jewelry that they like, because they're always doing it themselves. So that's an honor.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. And we met back, I'm thinking it's like 3 years ago now, right?
Yeah, so about that. I think maybe 4 now, but we missed.
Yeah.
Oh no, this year we'll miss because COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID. But so Caroline and I do this lovely event. It's called Bubbles and Baubles. And it's in London, Ontario. And where that venue is so spectacular. I love that restaurant.
Oh, Barney's? Is it
Barney's?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's so retro, and it's got like this whole tiki kind of vibe to it. It's really, really great. And so we met there, and it's a really great event. I guess there's about 50 of us, all jewelry designers, and these women come with their husbands and they drink cocktails and they walk around and they buy jewelry from all of us, and then we donate 15% of the proceeds from our sales back to the Guelph Children's Hospital, the London Children's Hospital Foundation. Yeah. And God, what a great night. And that's where you and I met, because we had our booths right across from each other.
I will admit that I've seen you on the One of a Kind show page before that.
That's right. Yes, because we've discussed One of a Kind as well.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved to have you there as my neighbor, but again, with COVID, you weren't able to do the show. So anyway, Caroline, you inspire me so much with your business, and we're going to get to that because there's so many things I love about you, the way you communicate with your audience and all the things you do. But the burning question now is, as a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? Not that we're that grown up yet, but.
Well, can I even remember that? Oh my gosh. I always thought I would be something in the sciences because I was, what do they say, in this gifted stream. And so you always just do the hardest thing since that's what they tell you can do. And so in high school, I did all the chemistry, biology, all that. And I never took art in school, although I always liked doing creative things and crafty things. And my mom always fed into that. Like she always facilitated it. But I just always thought of it as a hobby. And so I went to U of T for human biology, thinking I would be in healthcare somehow. So that's what I thought. But then I realized very soon that was not for me. So I regrouped and I became an interior designer. And I did passionately want to be that when I was doing it. And I did enjoy it while I did it. But there's one aspect of interior design is that you always have a direct client who is giving you input during the process. So as creative as it is, it gets squelched a little bit because these people are passionate about what you're doing for them. So I just felt it was a little, I was doing hotels and there was like a look for the specific chain that I was working for. And it just wasn't a lot of creativity. And when I came back to Canada, because I was working in Jamaica, I just wanted something for myself, my own creativity, where it wasn't squelched.
Right. Okay. So take us back. So you did your U of T thing, and then you went to Ryerson for interior design.
I did.
Good for you. So how many years of school did you do in total? Like that is a lot of studying.
Well, I was plotting my exit at U of T before I even finished. So I did 3 years at U of T, started at Ryerson, and then finished U of T in the summer because I didn't want to be a quitter. Wow. So I did 7 years. I did 7 years, and I don't have any postgraduate degree. So,
well, you've got a wealth of knowledge, which I'm sure has served you well in many areas. But that is really like something to be proud of, because I don't think education is ever lost, and definitely I think I learned more about myself in the sciences than I did about science. But the design course, design is design, and I do find myself accessing lots of that in jewelry design as well. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. So you have family in Jamaica?
I do. My dad is from Jamaica. He migrated to Canada, I think it was maybe 22, and then met my mom here, and they've been here ever since. But his immediate family, well, some of them, not my grandparents anymore because they're both dead, but Some of his siblings are there and his parents were there. So we have a close connection in Jamaica.
Oh, that's great. So that must have been quite exciting for you to be working with a hotel chain and then have this opportunity to actually go to Jamaica and do interior design work there.
It was exciting. I felt like quite the jet setter flying away to Jamaica. And then we would go to Miami for sourcing trips. And it was a fabulous job right out of school. And I felt very privileged to live there, to experience, because I've been there plenty of times, but living is way different than visiting.
Amazing. So you, and you were there for a whole year? Oh.
No, I was there for almost 3 years.
Oh, sorry, guys. We're freezing up a little here. It could be, I'm not sure. There's an internet problem on Caroline's. And if we do have a snowstorm today, which is, sorry, Caroline. Yeah, you're freezing there. So you're still a little frozen. Here we go. That's better. I think you're back now. Yeah, I know. It's probably the snowstorm action. Have you guys got a snowstorm too? Yeah,
we are.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. We were in Jamaica with you, and then you froze. Right? It's like, oh, we were just warming up, and then you froze. But so you, how long were you there?
I was there for 2.5 years.
Wow. So you really you were living there. You were in Montego Bay?
I was, yes.
Okay, so I have to share a little
working with
personal something with
Sandals Resorts.
Oops. Okay. So my mom and dad, they got married in 1963.
Oh no.
And they had their honeymoon in Montego Bay. Doctor's Cave Beach was where they were hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's like pre
just down the road.
Yeah, and that's like pre-reggae. They were dancing to the calypso music back then. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, the origins of reggae were coming when your parents.
Yeah, my parents started it actually. No.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God, no! We've always had a thing for Jamaica in our family because my parents had that amazing experience, and love the food there, the ackee and saltfish, and so many wonderful things about Jamaica. So I'm so sorry, you guys, for anyone who's tuning in. We are freezing up a little bit, and we hope that Caroline will come back to us. Caroline, I was going to say, if you can hear me, I'm not sure if your phone and your laptop are on. Maybe shut the phone down. That sometimes helps when I do that on my end. But anyway, as you guys can see, she's live from her studio, and she's got some of her beautiful pieces behind her there. She does really nice stacking bracelets, big statement pieces. Looks like she's gone off, and she's going to try to get back on again. So let's just hang tight for her. Yes. So we'll just wait for Caroline. But I hope you guys are having a great week. I cannot believe I finished the Advent calendar project. And I have to tell you, if you guys are ever working on a project and you feel like crazy overworked, like there's not enough hours in the day, please don't forget to do your exercise and stretching. My hip is killing me, and I knew it was going to happen, and I kept pushing myself anyway, which was not the best idea. So anyway, we got to be extra gentle to our bodies, and that's going to be my New Year's resolution for 2021, is to be good to myself, number one, because I do have that tendency to push myself way too hard. And Yeah, it's not good for you. It is not good. So here we go. I see this beautiful face. I see arms up. Okay. Are you there?
I'm on the
Oh, perfect. Okay.
phone. Yeah.
That's good. That's so good. I'm so glad. Hey, I've always got lots to talk about, so it's okay.
I'm
Don't worry about it. Okay, so I think we can hear you okay, Caroline.
okay.
Oh yeah, you're perfect. You're perfect. I was just telling the folks how I overworked myself this week and didn't do any exercise, and now I've got this bad hip, and I'm telling people don't do it. You got to take time to stretch every day. Oh. All right. So, my darling, I think you're
Okay.
freezing again.
I'm having trouble.
Yeah, I know it's so weird,
So this is
the
crazy.
internet.
I'm on the phone like by data now, so I'm just gonna
Okay.
try to
Well, the good news is we can hear
shut
you
off.
now really well. So
Oh,
that's good.
okay,
Your
good.
audio is good.
I'm gonna I'm gonna turn off the Wi-Fi and gets
Yeah, see
us.
what happens. Yeah.
Okay,
Here we go. This
now
it's
I
just
should be on.
another part of 2020. Everybody's online and probably today especially a lot of people are snowed in, so
Nope.
there we go.
One more time.
Okay. No problem. You're worth the wait, girl.
I don't know. It must be the weather because I do lives from here all the time.
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe everyone's trying to work from home today, so maybe it's internet overload. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Hope we're set now.
Okay, we can hear you beautifully.
Okay.
So Jamaica, 2.5 years. Oh yes, and I was saying before we got cut off how much I love ackee and saltfish. It's like one of my most favorite
Oh
meals in the
wow.
whole world.
You.
I do. I love it so much. Two of my best friends from public school, they have family in Jamaica, and so it's great. Got
Yeah.
to eat at their houses, and yeah.
I
But I have
agree.
had it in Jamaica too. It's so good. I've even tried to cook it myself.
Oh, well, it's not hard. You should be able to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's delicious. Well, so Caroline, before you went to Jamaica, you were already starting to make jewelry,
Yeah.
correct?
I made jewelry. Actually, my first foray into a jewelry business was when I was I think probably 10 years old. I used to make friendship bracelets, and I had like all the embroidery floss in a case, and I would make them on the tarmac at recess and sell them to the kids at school. They would choose their colors.
Great.
I didn't even remember that until like I was launching this business, and I was like, oh my gosh, I already had a jewelry business. But I made jewelry all through university. A friend of mine had taken me to the bead store for the first time
Which
when I
one?
was supposed to be studying for exams.
Oh God, do you remember which one?
Oh, Arton Beads. I still go
That
there.
Hello, that's my first. Also, that a
Yeah.
friend took me there too.
Yeah. So I used to
That's
just
so
do it at
funny.
like an outlet.
Yep.
This summer I would go, like I would get a little more intense, and then I would sell a few things to friends and family, and then I had a little crisis when I was in school. I think I was just like over being in school in my like third year, I think, of Ryerson. And my mom has said, you just need to take some time for yourself to do something that you're excited about between
Yeah.
the school. And so I started making earrings only, like statement earrings. And I sold them. They're all $25, and I was selling them just like as a little side thing for fun.
Great.
And other than that, I just kept trying new things hobby wise. And when I went to Jamaica, I would smuggle beads down every time. Well, smuggle is a harsh word, but I would pack my bags full of beads because there wasn't really access to the things that I needed down there. So I would
Yeah.
bring it in. make stuff in the evening. And actually, Tweak was born just before I moved back to Canada. I was making my bloom collection, which is the real orchids that are dipped in resin. And it's so tropical, and people were just like Jamaicans love color and bright, like as a collective. I'm not saying everyone, but like
Yeah.
as a society, they kind of love bright and standing out. So that one was really popular, and my friend was like, "You got to do a craft show with them." So we came up with the week, and I did it actually just a few weeks before I came home.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And so how did the name Tweak come to be?
Well, as I said, like, because I was an interior designer, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, when I quit my job in Jamaica and was coming home, I didn't know if I would be doing interior design, if I would be working for myself or someone else, if I would be, I didn't know if I would stick with jewelry. And I thought tweak was a great creative, like broad term,
Yeah.
because what is designing but tweaking what's already there? And
Yeah.
it works for jewelry because every outfit could use a little tweak.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it gave me some leeway to maybe do some interior design while I'm doing the jewelry. And so, and
Wow. That's so great. And so your social media is fantastic, and you do so many fun things for your customers. You're really good at building this online community. And one of the things I really love that you do is when you release a collection, you invite your customers to come and see you unveil it live, and then they have an opportunity to buy the pieces from you before they kind of go out to the rest of the world. So
yeah,
that's really quite something. Do you want to tell us about that a little bit?
that was actually born of a desire to not be schlepping things to art shows all every weekend. As much fun as it is to
Yeah.
see people in person, interact with what you've made, it's so tiring and almost too time consuming to make a serious business.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just noticing that the effort for the return was not working. So I was like, how can I achieve the same thing as going to a craft show or an art show and still stay in my studio without
Yeah.
driving across the country? And because Canada is so, it works as a model in the US better because the cities are closer, but we can only access a few cities within a couple hours drive. So
Right.
your audience is only as big as you can get to, and you waste so much time and money traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with the online. I released one about 4 years ago in the same way, but we didn't have the same tools with
Right.
social media before. So it was pretty, for that, at that time it worked, but it was pretty basic, my, my program for that, but
Yeah.
it did work. So I always had it in my head that maybe this could be a more permanent solution
Right.
to, so I started last October doing the lives, and I did October, and then Christmas came, and then I did one in January. And then, of course, COVID came. So there was no choice. Uh,
Right.
you had to, I was thankful that I had already started doing them so that I was ready to go. I did take a month or maybe 2 months off because I was just, when it first hit,
Mm-hmm.
you probably felt the same way. I thought, well, jewelry, it's completely unnecessary.
Yes, I
People
did.
are not going to care about jewelry, and it's insensitive for me to talk about jewelry when people are sick.
Yeah.
So I step back a little for maybe a month or a bit more. And I did come live and I asked my people, my customers, I was like, do you want it? Like, is that insensitive? And they were like, no, we love the beauty that you're sharing, and we want to see it. So I said, okay, if people are down with it, then we'll do it. And I've been so blessed this year with my customers that have supported me through everything. So I do a release once a month, live, and people show up every time. I'm amazed every time and grateful.
Wow, that's great. And you are so good at it. I love seeing the evolution of your comfort behind the screen and the way that you show the pieces. I remember last February when we were talking about it and you said to me, if you decide to do this, you got to make sure you got somebody sitting beside you. Remember?
Yes.
And like pour a drink and so then but you're rocking it out. You're just on your own doing your
Well,
thing now. And
I used to invite someone at the
yeah,
beginning. A few, like I had guests, my sister, or a friend, or my niece.
yeah,
But once COVID came, I was like, I can't be sitting here with people, even
yeah,
if they're in my bubble or my household. It just
yeah,
looks bad because we're
yeah.
supposed to be trying to be distant. So I didn't want to be. So I was like, okay, just me and my drink.
Oh,
And
that's
cool.
fantastic. Yeah, it's great. So, Carolyn, where do you get a lot of your inspiration from? Because also, I wanted to tell you, from me, looking from the outside, looking in, you are co- everything to me looks so effortless, but I know it isn't. I know you put a lot of thought and consideration into your pieces. And when you launch these collections, I'm like, God, how'd she think of that? Like, you're just so talented with really changing it up and giving people something new. And I can see why they always want to come to your online events, because you've always got the next best thing up your sleeve. So is there anything you do? Because one of the reasons I'm asking too, I think one of the biggest things that can crush someone's creativity is stress, is some, though, like that panic we had at the beginning of the year. Is anybody going to want to even buy jewelry? And just, managing during this pandemic, life has changed, all this stuff. Um, I'm always under the assumption that when you are creating something beautiful, you need to be in a place of like peacefulness and calmness. And so, anyways, I just wondered, like, how are
Yeah,
you finding the year and how are you finding your inspiration?
I do agree with you with the creativity. Sometimes something new is just not going to come. But since I've been in business for almost 12 years, I have a lot of collections in my arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of two different things. Like, for new pieces, I definitely need like to be in a place. I need some sort of jumping off point. It might just be a stone cut that I see and I'm obsessed with, and then I just start trying to find them wherever I can. I'm really into rough cut stones right now, so it might be something like that. It might be like wood. Some of my collections are very inspired by wood, and then but I always have a baseline tweak aesthetic, and I always check back to see if it fits with the collection, because I think it's important that I be good at what I do and that I not try to do everything,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's fun to dabble as a hobby, but if I'm going to be a professional, then I want what I present to be the best of
Yeah.
what I do. So I work with beads and I try to figure out how I can make beads look the way that I want to look.
Right.
So um, the only thing I do that's not beads is I do the crush, but it's sort of similar. It's just pieces of stone,
Mm-hmm.
um, as opposed to things with holes through them. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not a metalsmith. I'm not. I don't work with metal clay, or I don't do welding. I just
Right.
want to be really good at the beading, and that way, people, when they come to me, they know that that's what they're going to get, and I'll do it well. So
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, so I always come back to the baseline, and then the creativity always has to be in line with that. But this year, there was a lot of downtime and a lot of, I call it COVID melancholy.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong because you're healthy, you have a house,
Mhm.
you have some money, like you're surviving, but it's just like everything was just so mediocre this year. Um,
Mhm.
the inspiration was lacking. So what I did is I would take some of my other collections that I already had, existing collections, and just infuse like new stones, new energy. Some of them I did in gold when I usually do them in silver, just sort of like infuse a new energy. And
Mhm.
because I have so many collections, a lot of people don't have everything, like something from every collection. So
Yeah.
I would sort of reinvent it, release it, and people would want to get the new stone, the new color. And
Yeah.
I found that that was a good way to get my creativity rolling.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. It- and when you're creating the things that are inspiring you, is it something in particular, Carolyn, or is it in the past, pre-COVID? Is it traveling or things you've seen, or
I, I think there's nothing new under the sun, you know? I think
Mm-hmm.
a combination of everything. It's about, I'm very observant. I'm very color. I love color and I will remember color combinations. I say that I have like a color memory because I will be shopping, say with my mom when we were allowed to go shopping, um, and pick up towels and she'll be like, oh, this is the same color as the ones that I have. And I'll be like, no, you're they're blue, but these are way more gray than the ones that you have. Like just things like that. Like I have a memory for color. If I see some leaves
Mm-hmm.
by a flower when I'm walking by, I'll remember that burgundy and that green and I will try to see if I can reproduce it. And the
Yeah.
wonderful thing about stones is I work mostly in stones. I do use some crystals and some wood and shell, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly stones. And there's such variation in the stones that sometimes you can just find one piece out of the whole strand that's just that exact green. And then
Yeah.
you burgundy and there it is. So yeah, I think creative people are just highly observant,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean you have to be places, but you have to be seeing stimulus. So like the internet does work for that
Mm-hmm.
as well. It's not the same as in person, but if you're following the right people, and you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing a beautiful feed every day, like inspiration will strike. That's what I find.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. Eh? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. Like it can be the most simple thing. Yeah, yeah, it's quite magical. I find
Oh, for
that
sure.
whole process.
Yeah. And then you get something in your head and you just have to make it happen. That's one
Yeah.
thing I love about jewelry is it's like, so interior design is the long game. Like you
Mm,
just January and then the next February, maybe you'll see it coming to life. It's just,
yeah.
especially interior architecture. So decorating is a lot quicker, but what I was doing, it's a long game. It's like you hardly remember what you designed by the time it's being built.
Right.
But jewelry, you get an idea and you can make it happen in, if you have the supplies, you can make it happen in an afternoon. If you
Mhm.
don't, you go on this like quest to find exactly what you need, and in a couple of weeks you can make it happen. So I
Yeah.
just love that immediate gratification in the creativity of
Yes. I do too. And you know, the other thing, Carolyn, I think as jewelry designers, like that whole thing you were talking about with the pandemic and like questioning whether or not, should we even be showing what we do? Like, it's kind of like felt ashamed. Like, I better go and, help frontline workers. Like, making jewelry is not how I should be spending
yeah,
my time. But really, like, a lot of feedback I've been getting since COVID is how the jewelry is like helping the people. They put it on and they feel good. And I think as designers too, when we're putting all of our love and all of our we care about people, and it transfers into the jewelry. So anytime you're sending out one of your beautiful pieces, the customer's getting a piece of you. They're getting a piece of your wonderful energy and all of the work that went into it. And even though it's sort of like these pieces are instant gratification and you can think about something in the next day you can make it, it's more than that. It's your, it's your whole life, like from when you were a little girl and loving to get dressed up and this whole, like it's your whole lifetime of seeing things and creating things that has got you to this place. So,
I'm not saying that anyone could do it in a few days.
Yeah, no, but your pieces are worth so much to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's exactly what I was hearing from people. And I noticed for myself too, because I don't care what anyone says, retail therapy is a thing. Getting new things, maybe it's not even retail therapy, but like getting a new thing that you love and you think is beautiful does do something for you emotionally.
Yeah.
So even now, like when you can't go a lot of places, you can't see a lot of people, sometimes I'll be like, I just need something new. I just need something new. So I'll get some new curtains or like a new candle or something just to give you that little boost. And I think it's hard to look at what you make as doing that for somebody else, but I think that's exactly what it is. It's like something to look forward to, something to admire, something to hold in your hands that is new to you and beautiful. And yeah, it speaks more than what people would I think it gives more to people than what a lot of people would admit.
Yeah, I think so too. And the other thing too is that people are like the whole idea of there being stories behind things and why was this thing created. There was one collection you had which I thought was so brilliant and I really loved it, and it was your little necklaces for the graduates, for kids who were graduate. Yeah, tell people about that. Are you still making those?
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah, tell us about that, because that was such a thoughtful and amazing concept. Like,
well, I have the one collection that I mentioned before called Crush, and it's basically I've taken specimens of rock and semi-precious stone and crushed them literally with hammer and chisel, and then I take the pieces that I get and I make little stud earrings that are just prong set, or a little pendant necklace. And I took that necklace and I added a little charm that I stamped 2020 on. And then I had a little card that said, keep crushing it. Just like a congratulatory thing for a graduation. Yeah. And I just thought, like, what are we doing in these times? Like, grandparents can't go to graduation ceremonies, if there is even a graduation ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It's like proms were canceled. Like, so I figured people who maybe otherwise wouldn't be sending graduation gifts would feel for these kids that were finishing, and not even kids, just like anyone who was having a monumental accomplishment this year and isn't really able to celebrate it the way that you normally would. So I was like, what can I do? I'm a jewelry designer. Like, I can't change anyone's lives in big ways like doctors and people, but that's one thing that I could offer. So I was doing that. So I just made the little stamped charms, and then I chose a series of stones that I felt had like graduation energies, world accomplishments, and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love the thoughtfulness of that, and that, like, to come up with something like that, your heart, it aches for these kids, because you and I, we both got to do our graduations and have our parties and be with our friends. Like, these kids, they don't have that. So that was such a nice, thoughtful campaign. Yeah, I love that.
I'll probably do it next year too, because hopefully we won't be in such a state, but
Hmm.
I think that it's a nice little token, and um, jewelry. It's it may be not be fine jewelry, but it's precious and it has a story. And even once you stop wearing it, the memories are still attached to it. So
Hmm.
I think that it's a nice way to commemorate an accomplishment or a year.
Yeah, and I love that you do a stamp with the year on it. That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Caroline, when you were a little kid or teenager or whatever, did you receive jewelry as gifts growing up? Like that was a big deal for me, and I still have all the pieces, and they meant more to me than
I have
anything.
I have a few pieces. My mom, she is really into jewelry now because of me.
Yeah.
But when I was young, she was not that into it. She would wear her pieces, but I have one ring that I was given, um, like at 13. All my siblings have the same one, and
Nice.
I that's the only thing that I wear every day. I have some. I have a few pieces from different occasions, but we weren't huge jewelry commemorative people. But
Hmm.
I think that um, I've I've created that in myself because of what I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will look back, like when I see somebody, actually for me, when I see somebody wearing something that I made like 10 years ago, I
Hmm.
will like remember, oh, I remember those stones. I
Yeah.
like that for because I just fall in love with all the materials that I'm working with. And
Yeah.
I just, yeah, so there there's memories both ways.
Yeah, for sure. They really are. It's true when you see someone who's wearing a piece that you made like a decade or more ago. Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, to see them and just like it is to receive a piece of jewelry and have something mean so much to you when customers come back with the old stuff that we made, like I feel the same. I'm like, oh, I remember when I went online and I saw those beads, or I remember when I was digging through them and bought like whatever a pound of those beads.
I,
You
I always
just
tell people that I have an intimate knowledge of my beads because like people will be like, I lost this earring, and they'll
yeah.
send a picture and I'll be like, I definitely have no more of that bead, or I think I have one.
I remember way back I used to do sympathy earrings for people. They'd be like, oh, how much is it for one? I lost it. I'm like, it's okay, just keep buying from me, I'll send you a
Yeah.
sympathy earring. Yeah.
I think the benefit of knowing who made your jewelry
Yeah.
is you get to ask those questions, and it's possible because if you bought an earring 5 years ago at Zara,
Yeah.
there's no hope of finding it again, right?
No, no way. No, not at all. Oh, so what have you got planned for the holiday season? Are you doing anything with your I know. You know what? I have plans, and I'm going to be launching them next week, but I'm not going to say what they are because I'm like, how am I actually going to pull this off? I'm not sure.
Okay,
But
well, good for you.
how about you?
So normally I would be doing events all season. So in September, when it became clear that that was definitely not going to be a thing, I was trying to pivot, trying to say how do I compensate for
Mm,
that in my business? Um, but it sort of just like ran away with me. And so I do not have big plans. I will be doing some open house by appointment to my
okay.
show. And then I will continue with the lives. I'll probably do probably 2 or 3 in December
Hmm.
just to keep people uh, in the loop and to know that I'm still here and I can still provide gifts.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not doing anything big or crazy. I do want to finish the year off with a bang, but I also like to think that my jewelry can be through the whole year. Like
Yeah.
people still buy this jewelry in January because most people buy it for themselves.
Hmm. That's
That's
right.
find especially with like bigger statement pieces, it's hard to choose that for someone. And I
Mm-hmm.
find most people who are attracted to my jewelry are attracted to it for themselves. So as much as I love to be in on the Christmas gifting, and like by all means, like gift tweak. But I'm trying, especially this year, not to stress myself too much about making big sales in December, just
Mm-hmm.
because this is a weird year.
It
Like,
is. And guess what, Caroline? We actually have an opportunity to enjoy the season this year, you and me.
right, in a different,
In a different way. Yeah. Like we can be at home more. I know
yeah,
I can't believe I'd be standing in my booth right now. At
right,
one of a kind. Yeah.
yeah, that would
Yeah.
be your energy for the whole season.
Yeah.
You'd be scrambling, yeah. So I'm hoping that this year will be like more consistent sales through the holiday season as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to like, push for events. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm seeing. November was sort of just like steady shift. And the people who I have found that it's difficult to reach new people during COVID, because it's just like, how do you, that's what the events did for me, is
Yeah.
to get new people exposed to my stuff. But people who already know me are there
Yeah.
because small businesses need their support,
For
because they
sure.
well, people like you, so they want to support you business wise. Like people,
Yeah.
if they have a relationship with you, then they'll buy from you. So
Yeah.
that
For
I'm just
sure.
trusting that the seeds that have been sown over the 12 years or so
Yeah.
will keep me through this weird time, which has been the
Oh,
case
yeah.
so far.
You know what though, and Carolyn, it's so will, and also like you were saying before, now that we're not putting out all this energy to be doing these shows where you're only meeting a limited amount of people in a limited space, we can do more things like this where we're talking online now. Hopefully people are going to view this talk show now and go, oh, hey, I love what Caroline's making. I'm going to check her out too, and then so
Yes,
there's so many things we can do online in support of each other, where we're exposing, like your people are meeting me now, my people are meeting you.
right,
It's such a wonderful way to do this, to to entertain our customers while they're at home, and keep them, like, maybe even the conversation we're having today, it's not necessarily a conversation that they would be a part of if they met us at a show, right?
exactly.
So
It's
it's nice that they get to kind of see, like, I'm excited that my customers get to see what it is that you're doing and all the work that it takes, and your evolution of design, and it's great.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So amazing. And then in February, we're going to do the Bubbles and Baubles again, online, virtually.
Oh yeah. Did you
Yeah.
get that? Did you get an email about that?
Yeah, actually, I got an email about it, and it was, why? Because the coordinator, she was reaching out to me. She was ordering something from me, and she
Oh,
said, "Just throwing it out there. This is what we're going to do.
oh,
Are you going to be interested?" So it wasn't like a formalized thing, but I'm
oh,
sure she'll send something out soon to all of us.
right. Yeah, and that's what everyone's doing, right? Pivoting.
Yeah,
I mean, that word is being used so much, pivot, but
I
like
know.
literally what we do, because you're on one path and there it was just blocked. So you
Yeah.
do something else. So it's really revealing a lot of adaptivity. What would be adaptiveness? I don't know what the word
Yeah.
is.
Either word's good.
Resilience um, in people and businesses. That's like small business.
Mm-hmm.
You are, we are best equipped. Small business people are best equipped to deal with something like this, because you're constantly having to pivot. Somebody stops making something that you design with. Somebody's Facebook changes the algorithm and your people no longer see you. You have to try something new.
Yeah.
The show that you thought you were going to make big sales at gets canceled. You have to think of, like, that is constant in small business. You get a bad review online.
Yeah.
Never happened to me, but I know what happens to businesses. And as a small business, you have to be ready to just, okay, what can I do to counteract this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. We are so resilient, man.
Way to go.
I love it. Woo! That's going to be my screen grab for the show, our high five. Oh my gosh, Carolyn, I'm so happy you were able to be here today. And I have to invite you to an Instagram after party after this. Okay.
I'll see you there.
All right. I will see you over on Instagram. Thank you so much for today. And you know what? The internet connection, don't even worry about it because we got to hear you perfectly. We got to see your beautiful smile and your gorgeous studio space behind you there. So it's all good.
Thanks. Okay. See you later.
Okay. We'll see you later. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for your patience with the internet. Yeah, this is all part of it. You know, it really is this way for 2020. Anything can happen. Anything goes. We just keep changing. We keep going with the flow and keep smiling, most importantly. And before I say goodbye, I want to thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to join us, to listen, to share stories about amazing businesswomen who I know with all of your friends, and just thanks for being here because it really means so much. And once again, if you want to get yourself a sexy little top, look at me in sleeveless in a snowstorm. You want to reach out to my friend Brenda Badome at brendabadome.com. I will leave all of her information here for you. And don't forget to use the coupon code Get to Know Her for 13% off. And lastly, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you. And that's all for now. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time on the Get to Know Her show.